With the painting all done, it's time to get to assembly on the 1966 CB160. Here's another shorts compilation of some of the small assembly bits that I've done here so far on the CB160. Let's start out with assembling that rear fender, including the rear taillight. Now this video, I initially had recorded it as just work sounds, kind of an ASMR kind of a video. And this was a really fun way to shoot a video because I got to kind of actually enjoy wrenching and not have to think so much. So here I'm just testing the rear light. I got the super clean out and just cleaning up the part, just getting the dust and the muck off the part and, you know, really just trying to shine things up. It's pretty incredible, man. It's really hard to stop polishing. Watch that little ground wire there. If that's broke, you're gonna have problems. But it's really hard to stop polishing on things once you get started. Here I had a little broken gasket, so I just made one actually out of an old inner tube, right? So just getting creative. I probably could have went on to 4-into-1 or something and, you know, found a new one, but I mean, it is what it is. So basically just cut one of those out. Got some lens polishing compound, and that thing cleaned up really nice. There's really not a nick or a scratch in that thing, which is amazing. This is a really nice little transformation, a little aggressive compound on the polishing wheel. And check this out. Quite a before and after, man. The devil is in the details on this. And then, of course, when you polish these parts, you just want to make sure that you're protecting it. So, you know, a little turtle wax goes a long way. But I was getting a little ridiculous this night where I'm even polishing the heads of the individual screws and all of that. So here's was kind of I had to do this a couple times trying to remember how the hell this piece actually went together. But eventually I figured it out and everything kind of popped right back together. Nice and solid there. Really pretty, actually. God, the paint job came out great. That bracket looks almost perfect. Couldn't be happier with how that came together. And slowly but surely, it's like, you know, one screw at a time, popping all this stuff together. That little seal that I made out of the tire, that actually worked out beautifully. Had no issues with that. It lined right up, so just feeling good about that. The hardest thing is getting those darn long screws, you know, to go in, go home, right? But there we go. Polish it up, clean it up, get all the fingerprints off of everything. That helps a lot. And then we're getting to the nitty gritty. We're getting the hardware on so we can actually bolt the thing together. I did end up using some blue Loctite on all this stuff. I really don't want this stuff rattling loose as we're going down the road. And then just start putting things back together. And then kind of one of the iconic little pieces on these bikes is this little mud flap. I'm not sure how, you know, functional they really are, but they do look cool. I found this stuff, I found that mud flap on eBay. So somebody actually makes replica or reproduction ones of those. That was pretty cool, pretty simple to put on. And then we'll run the wire, and pretty soon, there we are. There's a fixed fender. That was a fun little project, putting that together. It's really inspiring to keep the build going. Unfortunately, as I was inspecting some of my painted parts, I ran across a case of the runs. It was inevitable. I was gonna have a run, but I wanted to try this technique that I saw online using a razor blade. As long as the run is in the clear coat, there's a chance it can be salvaged. You just gotta be really patient and scrape, scrape, scrape to get that all nice and level. Again, just working that clear coat on this particular piece. And this takes time, right? It takes a lot of patience. You just got to chill. But once you get it kind of level, grab some compound, grab a microfiber, and start smoothing that out. You're not going to get it perfect. It's going to look kind of dull, all right? But just bear with me. Next, go to some wet 1500, all right? Wet the part, wet the paper, and make sure it stays wet. Start working that out. Look, that run is almost gone. Broke through the color a little bit. Then you move to like a 2000 or a 3000 pad, and then you can finish this off on the polisher. So this is a little bit of compound, light touch on the pad, and look at this. Look at how nice this actually came out. I wish I wouldn't have broke through the color, but you can fix the runs. Pretty cool. I did end up having to repaint a couple of parts. The run was just too bad in some spots, but no big deal. All right, went pretty quick. Now that that was over and painting is finally finished, I could get into the nitty-gritty of getting all the small little pieces de-rusted and start throwing some pieces on the frame. Just getting ready to work on the front end of this motorcycle. Got a little evaporust. Want to get all my parts de-rusted. Now, evaporust rocks. We all know that. Quick tip, always label and bag your parts. And then when the time comes for reassembly, if you want to de-rust everything, just go ahead, take the baggie, take the label, set it aside, and you can do a bunch of baggies this way. And just get this down in the evaporust underneath and let that soak overnight. You'll wake up and you'll have pristine hardware to work with. If you've got some odds and ends, go ahead, throw those in there and top off the jar with evaporust. I'm going to put a lid on it for the night. And when tomorrow comes and it's time to start assembling, I'm going to have a whole bunch clean parts with labels in bags. Works pretty good. A little super clean Ziploc bag, a few spritz on some ball bearings for the front end of the 1966 CB160. And you got yourself some super clean bearings. Rinse them off, you're good to go. Once you get started restoring these old parts, it's hard not to start getting real picky about things. So like every nut, every bolt, every washer, and everything that looked a little dull needed to be brought back to life. Got a scuzzy looking damper wheel? Clean it up quick on a buffing wheel. That's dirty, that's clean. All right, fire up the buffing wheel, get some medium compound. Light pressure on the part. Light, really light. You're like skimming the surface. You don't want to get it too hot. But look at this. You can polish these out darn near perfect. And once you go through once with a medium, just get that light rouge on there. Then hit it again. Real light. Really light. Don't push into the wheel, just go real light. Work that in. I think I might call this good at this point. Part's not getting too hot, but look at that. Just grab a microfiber, wipe this piece down a little bit, and my goodness, look at that. Beautiful. I'm going to apply a little bit of turtle wax. A little dab will do ya, but this will protect this part as we keep moving through this restoration. Not too shabby. Things are really starting to look good, so it's time to get a little bit organized. I'm telling you, you can save so much time in the shop if you just do a little bit of pre-planning before you go digging through all the boxes and throwing everything around. So let's get organized as we get ready to put together the front end. We are cleaning up parts for the front end of the 160. Everything's coming out great. Sometimes I forget how nice you can get this old stuff looking. Damn. It'll start going together quick. Stay tuned. We're getting close now, but I couldn't help myself. I had to get back to polishing. I really wanted to put that gas tank together, so I had to clean up one of those beautiful chrome side covers. Didn't look too beautiful from the get-go, but I tell you what, it cleaned up pretty nice. So this was another one of those kind of work sounds kind of videos, and I really kind of enjoy these, but here's just the process that I did. I had WD-40 and really just drenched that side cover with WD-40. And then you've probably seen this a million times on the channel before, but 4O steel wool and WD-40 will get you a very, very long way on a lot of this old chrome. Just kind of get in there, get in the nooks and crannies, and get the part as clean as you possibly can. I'm telling you, you could probably just do the whole bike with WD-40 and some 4O steel wool. I had a little dent that I wanted to get out, so I got my little ball peen hammer out, my little brass hammer. Gave that a few knocks, and that popped right out, man. That actually cleaned out really well. I am certainly not a body man in any way, but pretty much undetectable at this point. So that was a nice win for me there. And then it was to my favorite, the Colonel Brassy, getting that stuff out and doing some final polishing on this part. That stuff does a great job with this old vintage chrome. Just make sure that you mix it up a lot because it does settle quite a bit, and it'll get really, really runny on you if you don't, really take the time to stir that stuff up. But there you go. Compared to where we started, this is night and day difference. It's scratched up. It's fine. I don't get too bent out of shape about, some of that stuff. That's patina. That's story for the bike. Then I finish it off with a little bit of Wizards, all right? This stuff is pretty great, too. You just, kind of fog it on there, get it laid on there, let it hang out for a few minutes, and then get yourself a microfiber rag, give it a good wipe, and you know what? That's respectable. That is an original part. And, I couldn't be more pleased with how that part actually turned out. So it can be done, man. It can be done. WD-40, some steel wool, some basic cleaning compounds, and you'd be amazed how much life you can breathe back into these parts. Finish it off, protect it a little bit with some turtle wax, and you're going to be in good shape, and it's going to be great. That final wipe, when you wipe off the dry stuff, it's great. And then, of course, we've got this stupid, not stupid, but that little rubber cover, that knee pad. Cleaned it up with a little bit of super clean, and then washed it out. Got in the little grooves and stuff with a toothbrush. One thing I did learn on this, I actually used Armor All to give this stuff a little bit of shine. And apparently, there's formaldehyde in Armor All, and it actually hurts the rubber product in the long run. So try to stay away from that. I kind of wish I would have just done the brake fluid trick or the wintergreen trick, something like that, but it is what it is. But there you go. We're going to put that side cover back on, and then we are in great shape with that gas tank. Look at that. Not bad. And there you have it. Some big wrenching videos coming up, all right? The whole front end's got to go together, and eventually that whole damn bike's got to go back together. So I hope you enjoyed this little shorts compilation, just trying to get you up to date with what we've been doing in the shop. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. Also, go to keeponwrenching.com, get yourself that free sticker, and also don't forget about that Facebook group, the Keep On Wrenching Community Group on Facebook. We'll see you in the next video or live stream.